Behind the fence at ConQuest Deer Farm, you will find a herd of whitetails that produce the best hunting scents a hunter can buy. ConQuest Scents was established 18 years ago by owners Doug and Karen Roberts. Also known as ConQuest 200, their reality television show that airs on Pursuit Channel, where they show how they raise and care for their whitetails, all while manufacturing and distributing ConQuest Scents nationwide.
ConQuest Scents and ConQuest Deer Farm is a 100-acre deer farm located in Davison, Michigan, where we've been raising whitetail deer for over 30 years now.
In that 30 years, we've raised some of the largest typicals in the deer farming industry. We've had a lot of #1s over all these years. And so out of that, what we have done is we've actually been able to find the scents and the smells from those deer and actually been able to encapsulate that into a scent line that is very advantageous for hunters to help them harvest the deer that they're looking for. One of the things that makes ConQuest Scent products very unique is that we own our own deer herd. Most of the large companies don't own a deer, and therefore we can collect the products and immediately manufacture it and put it into the bottles and the wax stick formula, which makes it extremely fresh, and we don't have to add any preservatives. So what you're getting as a hunter is pure scent products directly from the deer, directly from the farm, which work more effectively out in the field for you.
It's available in all the outdoor box stores. It's also available at ConQuestScents.com.
The days of using traditional liquid hunting scents is almost a thing of the past. While liquid scent has an expiration date, ConQuest Scents wax formula stays fresh. The scent is capsulated in wax form, so when you apply it throughout the season, you're always getting fresh product.
Our three main whitetail products, of course, #1 is EverCalm, the smells and scents of a bedding area.
EverCalm Wax is the #1 selling scent at ConQuest Scents. EverCalm Wax won't spill like liquid scents that create a mess. It won't freeze or wash away in the rain. And above all else, it's an all-season calming scent. You can use it every time you enter the woods. Capsulated in the wax formula allows 100% use of the product. If properly placed back in the reusable sealable bag and is stored in the cool area, EverCalm Wax will be good for the next season.
Then we have Rutting Buck, which is the testosterone scent for making mock scrapes, rubs, and also putting into active scrapes. And then we have VS1, which is an estrus scent. We actually synchronize our does into peak estrus and then collect the estrus sharon and vaginal secretions. There's no other scent company doing that with their deer farms like we are.
It's one of the products also that we run out of every year. It's a very limited supply. So if you're looking for an estrus scent at the top of the industry, VS1 is the one you're going to be looking for.
New to the ConQuest Scents family is the Aerosol Bombs. These small, compact scent bombs are offered in Rutting Buck, EverCalm, and certified in heat. They can be dispensed in short bursts or lock down the tab to empty the can. The nozzle atomizes the scent to stick to vegetation and to carry it downwind of your location. Also available in 7-ounce EverCalm bomb and Rutting Bomb containers.
But the thing we're really excited about is the ScentFire unit. We've been for years trying to figure out how do we heat and get the scent smell out into the air, because if we heat something, it carries further and becomes stronger. Well, ScentFire does that. It actually vapes, so it heats the liquid, vaporizes it into the air, and it carries much further and has a stronger smell. And it works by a remote, so you control how much product you want out into the air when you want it out. It also is a good wind detector to tell you which way the wind is going, and it works up to 40 yards away. So the ScentFire unit, electronic scent dispenser, is a game changer for hunters out in the field.
Especially for ConQuest Scents, we're really excited about evolving into other areas with our scent.
But I want to show you a couple things that we have already changed and improved upon in the ScentFire unit. One of the things that we changed was the battery holder. We were having trouble with people, which way do you put it in? So what we did is we actually put an arrow, so the arrow points, this end goes into the unit first, because if it's upside down, it simply will not work. The other thing you want to do is you want to make sure you use the very best lithium AA batteries that you can find. The cartridge is going to give you about 25 to 30 hours of dispersion time the way the old cartridge was. But what we ended up having to do, we doubled the size of the portholes. So what does that mean? That means the liquid scent up here goes down into the bottom where it gets heated, and we're sending twice the volume. So those are the new things that we changed. Those are some of the things of how to use the ScentFire unit. When you pick yours up, again, good lithium batteries. You got a remote that works up to 40 yards away. We hope it works well for you. Best of luck this fall.
AA lithium batteries are not included for the ScentFire unit. Refills for the ScentFire can be purchased at ConQuestScents.com. We offer EverCalm, VS1, and Rutting Buck, as well as the Hunter's Package and the Rutting Buck Package. Be sure to order in time for your hunt. Check your local retailers or go to ConQuestScents.com. Did you know that ConQuest Scents EverCalm Wax is the #1 requested hunting scent and is offered in liquid, aerosol bombs, and the new ScentFire vaporizer? Order yours today at ConQuestScents.com.
Hey, I'm Jimmy Sykes. I've been hunting whitetail deer for a half a century. I guess that makes me a deeraholic. Good gracious. My major focus is finding aged bucks on public land or inexpensive leased land and trying to outsmart them. I don't have the advantage of owning a large farm with hundreds of acres of food plots and sanctuary thickets, so I have to do the best I can with what's available. Outsmarting an old mature buck that everybody and their neighbor is after is a tall order. The odds are definitely in favor of the buck. That's why I have to be on the top of my game when the hunt starts. It's also crucial to use the right products that are going to increase my odds for success. If someone forced me to pick only one product that I've used in my 50 years of deer hunting to consistently outsmart whitetails, I would choose ConQuest Scents. For a decade now, I've been using EverCalm, VS1, and Rutting Buck to put deer right where I want them to be.
Smoked him. He turned to go underneath that ConQuest scent with that doe and estrus scent on it. And I mean, he went right under it, was headed straight up to the EverCalm one, was able to drill him as he walked through that 25 hole right there. How fun is this? Now that is a big buck, man. Look how old that dude is. I like him. I like him a lot.
Another successful hunt was in Arkansas, where I used a drag rag to deposit ConQuest Scents Rutting Buck scent along the middle of a dirt track. This usually stops a rutting buck that's crossing, or at least slows him down when he hits that scent trail. I also placed several ConQuest Scents EverCalm scent sticks along the edge of the woods, as these provide constant scent into the air that's carried into the woods by the wind. My idea is to saturate the thick pine woods behind me with calm deer scent, hopefully to attract does and yearlings, and also to tell any mature buck that there are deer in my direction.
It's a big buck. Oh my goodness, that's an old deer too, man. You just don't see many of those here at our camp. So finding one of these guys is a hard thing to do. He literally walked right up to my ConQuest Scent EverCalm stick. And I walked right through there with the VS1 rut on my boot as well.
When ConQuest Scents introduced the ScentFire and the spray bombs, I witnessed even greater results as I incorporated them into my triangle method. I'll never forget one particular hunt on public land in Tennessee where my buddy Mark Dance and I found a brute of a 5-year-old buck. We were hunting on Corps of Engineers property and had only a small sliver of land available on which to set up. I didn't want to give away my spot with a loud rifle shot, so I decided to go in with a crossbow. We set up a ground blind, and then I began to work my triangle system.
ConQuest Scents, they've come out with the scrape maker, and you can come in and kind of do this to the tree. It makes it look really natural. Big, huge buck track right there. And stomp on it. And look at that perfect track. Okay, now we're gonna take our VS1 doe and estrus scent, and we're gonna put it right here on this log that's right next to the scrape, and on the tree that I just rubbed right here. I'm gonna hang an orange scent stick right up here. I'm also setting out a ScentFire unit containing rutting buck scent, and this will complete my triangle. We've got 9 does and yearlings, all inside our ConQuest Scents circle. That doe right there is in estrus. She keeps raising her tail. We need her to pee in here somewhere to be perfect. Bingo. Oh, he's looking at us. Don't look, don't look. Yeah. Oh, it's hooked. He is beautiful.
You drew
It's
him
tight.
in with the sense and the plan, and it worked. And so we thank the Lord for this day.
It really did.
One of the major keys to outsmarting an old buck is to first attract and outsmart a mature doe. I want her to be in the middle of my triangle, surrounded by enough scent that she calms down and stays put for a long time. Other deer will then join her, and when the old buck shows up, he lets his guard down and feels safe. I've had bucks come in and literally lay down and nap in the core zone of my triangle. I've seen mature bucks hang out in my zone for half an hour or more, and even spar and rub trees. I cannot say enough about the effectiveness of ConQuest Scents. This past hunting season, I was surprised to find an old 11-point buck on one of my trail cameras in a small travel corridor consisting of only 8 acres of woods. I immediately put together a strategy to try to outsmart this buck, and this is in a state where baiting is not allowed. It was during what I call the October lull, when the bucks are in between their summer pattern and the pre-rut phase. They're almost completely nocturnal during this period, and pretty much unkillable. I decided to really pour the ConQuest Scents onto the old ancestral trail that I knew the buck was using under the canopy of darkness. I set up a redneck blind near this trail and started working my triangle system, using the scrape maker to create a mock communal scrape on both sides of the triangle. I began to spray ConQuest Scents in the area between my corners, and hung several scent sticks as well as applied EverCalm to some trees. I placed 2 ScentFire units within bowshot, one in the center of my triangle and one on the far right edge where an additional trail was located. I wanted to attract a lot of deer into the area, including does, yearlings, and young bucks. The more the better. These deer, or the scent and signs left from their visits, would add to the potential of getting the old buck to visit the area. It happened 3 days later, as the old buck showed up once again on my camera, but it was in the middle of the night. I sat 8 straight days waiting on the buck to make a mistake, reapplying the ConQuest Scents each day. The vigilance finally paid off on the morning of day 9. Using my hybrid light on red mode, I snuck into the stand 30 minutes before light and was sitting quietly. As the first ray of dawn began to illuminate the horizon, I noticed a shadowy figure standing over the mock scrape on the left side of the triangle that I had made with the scrape maker. It was too dark to film, but I looked through my binoculars and could confirm that the old 11-point buck was standing 22 yards away, sniffing the scent that had come from the spray bombs. My heart almost went out of the top of my head as I calculated how long the old buck was going to have to stay in my triangle zone in order for me to get a shot. 20 minutes. To jump to the end of the story, the buck did hang out that long, captivated by the herd of deer that he could smell but not see, knowing that they must be somewhere nearby and would be coming back soon. I was able to get some footage of him and get a schwacker through his lungs during the first minute of legal shooting light.
would you look at the size of this big buck? The ConQuest Scents kept this deer in that area for over 20 minutes while I was waiting on light. He just knew that there was a herd of deer around, or that they had just been there.
Did you know that ConQuest Scents can bring their does into peak estrus using synchronized cycle technology? As a result, this gives VS1 the highest concentration of pheromones of any estrus scent, making VS1 the most powerful doe estrus scent money can buy. Visit ConQuestScents.com and get yours today. Coming up next, Luke Brewster shares his story of using EverCalm the day he shot the world record. You won't want to miss it.
I'm Luke Brewster, and I shot the new world record using EverCalm.
Now, it's easier than ever to duplicate real buck sign utilizing the 4-in-1 scrape maker. Combined with the rutting butt package, you can create scrapes that every deer in your woods will want to visit.
Now, a lot of people will say, yeah, I can use a rake or I can use a stick out in the field and it's just much easier. I don't need to buy this little tool. Let me explain the 4 parts of this scrape maker. 1, you've got the forks on the end, and it literally claws the ground up just the way the hooves would be of a deer, so it's very authentic. Second, you've got the real bladed smooth edge, and what that does is it makes some rubs around that area 4 or 5 feet off the ground, so it becomes visual from a long distance away that a new buck has been in the area, so it pulls them to your mock scrape. 3, the serrated edge breaks the leaf and the licking branch up above and breaks it up just the way the antlers would on a buck. The last thing, you got the oversized hoof print, so it makes it look like there's a big buck in the area. Yes, it's oversized, but to a deer, it's like intimidating. And so the dominant buck in that area wants to take that scrape over and put his footprint over the top of that. So it becomes more of a competition to take that scrape over. And then last, we put the right scents in there. We put rutting buck in the scrape itself, and we can just flake it off, or we can wipe it on some of the stuff in the scrape. We put EverCalm on the licking branch, so we have the authentic smells of the deer in the right place. Here's the cool thing. You've been holding onto the scrape maker with one hand, you've not touched anything in the environment, and yet you have all 4 parts of that mock scrape put together in one tool that you can put back in your backpack and make it anytime you want.
You can purchase your scrape maker for only $19.99. Visit ConQuestScents.com and get yours today.
This little deal right here, I'm telling you, this buck come in downwind, right to this, looked our way, kind of come out, went right back to it, and you can actually see this going off on the camera. He goes right in behind it, starts feeding, and that's when I shot him. I mean, this thing is what the industry's been looking for. ScentFire from ConQuest Scents. EverCalm is what we were using. Honestly, awesome.
ConQuest Scents has revolutionized the way hunters disperse hunting scents, from EverCalm wax to the new ScentFire vaporizer and the new Aerosol Bombs. You can apply scent the way you want to apply it. But even greater than that, what if ConQuest Scents' EverCalm scent just happened to be the greatest hunting scent to ever outsmart a whitetail's nose? It's quite possible. EverCalm wax was even on the boots of Luke Brewster, the Virginia bow hunter that walked into his stand using EverCalm and came out of the woods with the new world record.
I'm Luke Brewster, and I shot the new world record using EverCalm. So I pulled down this access road and parked my truck about 500 yards from the stand. Get out, get dressed in the back of my truck. I will always put on EverCalm on my boots before I head in. Never sat in the stand before, and I was having a hard time finding it. Pretty much stomping all over this deer run, looking for the stand. I finally got eyes on it and climbed up in. Sitting there for about 4 hours, I'm not seeing anything. I see in my peripheral vision this deer, and I turn my head and look over, and it is the new world record Mufasa. Started licking the branch above him when I got to full draw, hit my release, and watched him take off. When I first saw him at 30 yards, he was walking on the trail that I had stomped over looking for the stand I got into. I know if I didn't have any EverCalm on my boots, then I probably would have been busted. He would have been looking around for me and probably would have backed out. I'm Luke Brewster, and I shot the new world record using EverCalm.
In the last few years, I think people have really paid attention to what the backbone of this country is, and that's hardworking people and farmers. And at the end of the day, what we are farmers, and we couldn't continue to be farmers without our customer base. And we pray that God blesses our customers with a great experience in the woods using our product. We appreciate the business. We're not bean counters, we're not big corporate America. We're 7 days a week, 24/7 farmers. We're deer farmers.
You know, and for us, what's so exciting over the last 18 years, you as hunters have really created ConQuest Scents. We created a product, you tried it, you found that it worked for you, you believe in us, and so you guys have spread the word and really have grown this company to what it is. And so to you, we thank you. We ask that you have blessings out in the field. We ask that you continue to use our products, and we hope that they work for you and you become successful this fall in the field.